What if everything could be different today? And the only thing you've got to do is forgive yourself for not having figured that out yesterday.
Yeah.
That's a big one right there.
Mm.
To me,
So,
that's a clue and a key in Limitless, is being able to take that responsibility. And we're recording. Goodness. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to the Limitless Show.
yes.
I'm so excited. My name is LeeAnn Romine, and this is my husband, Robert Romine.
Hi there, everybody.
Oh, goodness. We're thrilled to have you here on this journey with us. So, what is Limitless? What does this all mean? You know, I had an idea, a download here just a little while ago, and I wanted to do a podcast, something where we can just connect with you on a more regular basis. And Limitless is where our hearts are. You know, it's all about breaking the boundaries, challenging the status quo, and redefining what's possible for you. Not what's possible for everybody out there, but what's possible for you. And what we're wanting to do is to really take a deep dive into all of that, whether you're looking to grow personally, professionally, or you're just looking for inspiration to unlock your own limitless possibilities. That's what we're here to do, is to guide you through this process. We're going to dive into powerful stories, actionable insights, all kinds of thought-provoking conversations. There's one thing that Rob and I both love to do, and that's kind of just poke the bear a little bit and get some good debate going on. You know, between the two of us, we have, about 130, 140 years worth of really good wisdom. We have been in manifesting and spirituality and all of the amazing parts of this mystical, magical world for all of these years. And we have a lot of wisdom to share with you. We also have a vast amount of people that we know and that we're going to be bringing in each episode. We're going to talk with incredible individuals, with experts, entrepreneurs, people who are like you, but they've also found their visionary purpose and they're able to share it with you. And that's what Limitless is all about. I want to find, and Rob, I know you're going to agree with me, your limits. Where are they? Let's find them, let's poke them, let's deal with them, and let's work them. Because you know what? The absolute truth of all of this is you create your own reality 100%. Nobody else is at fault here. Nobody else is in charge here. And if you find a limit, you're the only one that can change it. So let's take it that way. Let's delve in. Let's work with this thing. Every week, we're going to have something new for you. I am also going to be adding in different activations each week, which is going to be fun. But you know what? I don't want to just give that to you on the podcast episode. We're going to have a way for you to sign up so that you get each one of those activations each week. And if you've ever worked with me before, you know those are powerful. It's just absolutely powerful when I channel and I pull that in. So I want to ask, my dear husband, what is limitless to you? What does that mean? If I say I want to be limitless, what does that mean to you?
Limitless would mean that we are going to push you beyond the bounds that you've ever been. And consciously, you are going to move your own line in the sand, so to speak.
When you say push, I know a lot of people go, ooh, I don't know about that. Other people thrive in that. But if we're going to push people into thinking and finding their own, it's uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Yes, but you know what? The thing is, and we've had some amazing successes. We've literally landed in the lap of success in many times throughout our lives. And every time we have, the one thing that I found is that the minute you start feeling comfortable or you get out of that space of feeling a little tension going on, you're not growing.
Right.
Success lands in those uncomfortable spaces. And then you can become very complacent with that. Does that make sense, Rob, with what I'm trying to here? You want to keep pushing. You want to keep pushing. And I am the first one to tell you, I'm not into the bro mindset of push and hustle and push and hustle. There are times that energy. Yes. Well, there are. You got to show up every single day. You got to do the things. That energy is not where it's at. Finding your limits. A lot of times those are hiding. Our limits are hiding underneath things that we don't even see. And so being able to find them, uncover them, and then find out it's just that easy to let go of them, that's a limit in itself. What if everything could be different today? And the only thing you've got to do is forgive yourself for not having figured that out yesterday.
Yeah.
That's a big one right there. To me, that's a clue And a key in Limitless is being able to take that responsibility.
Yeah, push is probably not the word to describe what I was.
You've been with me for so long, you know I'm a Capricorn, and he's got a push. He does the pushing really good. He's a gentle pusher, but there's definitely a bit of pushing going on, right?
But you are going to want to push yourself when you realize that you are in charge of all that. It's like you didn't get the success that you wanted with this or that in your private life, your personal, your professional life, and it's because you stopped yourself. That boundary that you imaginary boundary that we all put on ourselves. And it's a matter of realizing that and going just past it. And then
Exactly.
past
And it
to
is
the,
just past, just
yep,
that 1 ounce past is enough to change your life.
yeah.
It can change today.
Fluid motion creates more motion. So,
Right. And then we steer and we direct. One of the key things to manifesting, one of the true keys to it is the fact that alignment is 90% of it. Everything that you can imagine, the minute you imagine it, it's already created. It's there. But now you align to the what is probable and possible in your world. And those are the things that have input into your reality. And from there, you can start truly consciously creating from that process. But it's not about crafting things. It's
mhm.
about aligning with that which you've already have. You align yourself in an energetic way so that it's just there for you. You want your reality to work for you. You shouldn't have to be changing it at all times. It's a matter of getting yourself into that state so that the reality that mirrors back to you is exactly what it is that you're desiring. And if it's not, and you're finding your limits are within your own self, how do you go about that? Rob, I know that you use breath work quite often,
Yep.
and in the way that you work with things to help people find their limits. When you're dealing with your breath work, what is give them an idea of how they can use breath to find a limit?
If you connect, if you get yourself in a balanced state and you just start breathing and pay attention to your breath, the same inhale and the exhale meet to where you never let go of the inhale or the exhale. You're always in a continual loop with it. And then you allow yourself just to flow into that. And you'll start, it may not be the first time if you're doing it by yourself, but within the second or third time of you sitting there with intent, consciously with intent, you're going to get the answers or you'll get the question.
You go into the with a question in mind so that you want the answer to that, and
Exactly.
you work with the breath. I know for myself, when I work with you on that, I always do what I call grounding, and
Mm,
that's where I pull myself back in. As we go through our day, a lot of us are floating around out there.
yeah.
Me or talking to my daughter still on the phone, or off with my mom over here, or at the grocery store, wondering what's got to be done on this, or a client over here, or this is happening. All of that's out there. I want to pull myself back in.
Hmm.
I just with intent, pull me back in, close my eyes and pull me back in. And then you focus on that breath. And while you're doing that, it's like, okay, where is my limit here? Why am I having trouble being able to get this podcast together? Why am I having trouble with not knowing what choices to make? Where's my limits at? Why is this not changing for me? And instead of looking out there, you're looking here.
Yep.
Where are the limits in here? What are my beliefs holding about how hard it is, or the power's go? We had power went out last night. This happens, that happens. There's all kinds of things that go on. Those are reflections of our own belief structures. That's where your limits are. So as we go through with this Limitless podcast, and I'm so excited about doing this, I want to have you truly find at least one limit that you've put on yourself or that you hold that we can release each and every week. Let's take some focus with it. We're going to have a lot of things coming up for you to work with, a lot of actionable tips and techniques and things that we work with our clients on a daily basis. And we want you to change. We want your world to change. I am a big, huge proponent of gathering knowledge and learning and growing and becoming wise. But it means nothing if you don't put it into action. Having actionable steps that will take you that step further. Using the breath work that Rob just told you is super simple, but you'd be surprised at how much of a hurdle it can be to actually make yourself sit down and do it. Just sit down and do a nice little breath work for 5 minutes today to find what's holding you back. Where's one limit we can find and move through?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think, Rob? What is your opinion on that?
No, I totally agree with you. And the one thing that neither one of us said, you said pull yourself back in, but it's plant your feet flat on the floor so you're grounded. You're grounded with Mother Earth, and then you work your process. And like I've told you for many times, get out of your head for a minute. Get out of your head and into your heart space.
So hard to do.
Breathe into your heart space. Get out of your head. Forget all the
To try to feel it and the breath.
Yeah,
but if we're holding intent, I think some people are the opposite to that, and they find it very easy to do a breath, but they just float around in it and don't ever get anywhere. So there has to be an intent to it. But letting go, that surrender, getting into the rhythm and the motion. And when you say that your feet are planted on the ground, yes, it's kind of woo. It's very spiritual, but it's also very quantum physics.
Exactly.
Yes, it's very much so. But there's also some science beyond that, where our bodies are magnetic. Right. And when you're touching the ground, it actually does work with your physicality, with your body. And it helps to pull your body in where it needs to be. When we're working in that arena of being balanced and centered before we do any of our work, it's phenomenally helpful. Phenomenally. And I know, Rob, you can attest to this. I have when it comes to tech, I can get all over the place with tech. Always have. And one of our very first businesses was actually in doing the worldwide. We had Angelic Abode Web Design, and I was amazing at doing all of the coding in the back end. And I can remember when we could put pictures on the web for the first time. It was just so much fun. Embry Riddle there in Prescott, we had friends that were there that were helping us learn all this new technology. But in the process, I've found that me and technology, we had this real funny dad. It's kind of like breakdancing back in the day. And I can get so caught up in my head with all of it that nothing seems to go right. And Rob can walk in and say, sweetheart, get out of your head, feet on the ground, take a breath with me. And he'll walk me through that small breath work. Yep. And things just change. My computer literally responds to me differently. I know it sounds crazy, and I'm not going to use her name, but we have that around here as well. We should tell the story of what happened the other night with that.
Oh, Lord.
Sometimes humor is one of the best things going, and I don't want to say too much because it's going to get it started again. But if you're finding yourself up against your own limits, literally through the day, especially when you're working sitting at a desk, so many of us as entrepreneurs, that's what we do. Our life becomes that. And having that little bit of just a bit of humor to get yourself into that space can be very helpful. But we had been sitting here discussing some deep conversations. And I think my helper here, and I'm going to spell it Alexa, decided that it just was going to pop up and start telling jokes. Please don't do it. But she was using fart jokes of all things. And all of a sudden, and it wouldn't stop. I was saying stop, and it was just going and continued on and continued on. But how long did it go? About 10, 15 minutes. And it was just all these different kinds of, it was like, what on earth is happening?
We were rolling.
The humor of it, but the conversation we had just prior, all of that just kind of flowed in. And from that point, we made the choices that we need to make for our business. It was kind of magical, actually. But to me, that's how we hit those limits and we move beyond them. And that was the point of that, truly, is the fact that we were hitting just some limits, not knowing what do we choose, where is it that we're heading. We've got so many assets. What do we do with all of this stuff? And the deeper we were getting into this conversation, the more focus we were losing, I think. And for some reason, out of the middle of nowhere, that popped up with the funniest thing ever. Like we went back to the age of 5 and those kinds of jokes. It was amazing. Absolutely.
It was pretty crazy. Pretty crazy.
Pretty crazy, that's for sure. And, I would like for you to share a story, if you would, about your own limits when it comes to being able to put yourself together as a husband and a father and facing the terrifically hard time that you had physically here a few years ago with your heart. And I know that put limits in front of you that they felt unsurmountable at the time. They really did. And I have watched you as your mate and biggest supporter hit every limit and just fly right over the top of it. How do you do that? Share with us how you pull yourself together so well that you can, in the face of heart issues and all kinds of things, literally soar beyond. If you could boil it down, the essence of it, what would it be?
Man.
Talk about putting him on the spot here.
Probably the thing that got me through it was the responsibility that I took years ago of marriage and fathering. And I know that none of you were ready for me not to be here.
That's for sure. Still not. That's for sure.
And my heart was literally at 12%, is what they said that I had of a heart that was beating. And I just knew I wasn't here to end there. Mm-hmm. And there was just too many things, my family, and just too many things beyond that. And you have to, whenever you hit any type of a wall, that's not the end. The wall is not the end. You either climb over it, you dig under it, you walk till you find the end of it, or you just crash through the damn thing.
Exactly. And that's kind of what we had to do.
Yeah.
When that happened to you, I was coming out of a full-on decade of hiding in one room. You had provided for me the space to do the healing and the things I had to do. And what woke me up literally was having cancer and facing losing you. I had to pull it back together and be able to hit every limit I could even imagine hit me at that time. And what I remember most, and I'm going to share this little bit of a story here, was sitting in the doctor's office with you as they were telling us about the heart procedure and pulling you through. And I knew full well I had to get back on my feet. I had gotten the call that the breast cancer was there and I had to deal with it. And I knew I had to put that aside so that I could get you through the surgery and back on your feet. And at the same time, a phone call came in. We owned a lot of property in our small town. And the mayor, who had a dislike of you at the time, knew where you were at and knew that we were in a position where we couldn't fight back. And he basically told me, if you don't leave your husband right now and come down to these properties, I'm going to level them. And I said, I just found out I have cancer and I don't have the moment. Can you give it? He said, I don't give up that you have cancer. I don't care about your husband. And all of the people that you are renting to are now on the street. He hung up for me and literally leveled the buildings. It was illegal. It's a small town and we have all kinds of things we've got to deal with from it. But at that moment, I knew full well that I was never going to be in a position again where any limits were going to be on me from outside of myself. Couldn't do it. That the realization that no matter what happened, the man in front of me, my own health, my family, that's what mattered. We lost, it was close to $1 million easy that day, just gone. And we've been able to pull it completely back around. And now who are we beholden to? Absolutely no. It is all within ourselves that we've pulled it back. And that's just the financial part. But physically, I've healed from cancer twice with it opting no chemo, no anything. I've just done a couple of surgeries and I'm fine. I'm what, 6 years now? 6 or 7,
Yeah.
somewhere
6.
around there. No, I checked all the time and everything is fine. Your health is back to, your heart is back to almost where it was.
Normal is
Yeah,
what the
for
heart
a
says.
man who is 72, it's fantastic. Those are all things that we have done in it. Yes, there's a lot of hard work and determination that are in there, but we have found those limitless moments, those pockets where you can get in and you can manifest and you can work with your world so that it is reflecting back to you in such a way that you have opportunities that you didn't see the 2 minutes before. Those light bulb moments really matter. They really, really do. And I think that the one thing that I would want to share with everybody on this first episode is the fact that your limitlessness, it's within you and you've got to find that. And you don't have to go through these horrific things to find it. You can follow other people who have and say, here's the gift. And that's one thing all of my clients tell me. I'm like a fairy godmother. I can just sprinkle it around. And if I can give you one thing this week, is the gift of recognizing today, right now, everything that you need, everything that you're meant to be, you have inside of you.
Yes.
Sitting right there. Open up to it and don't take no BS, not from anybody. Live your dream, your truth today. Don't put it off. Do everything that you want to do today. Become limitless in here and it will show up out there. I guarantee you it will. Absolutely. So as we're wrapping this up, I want to make sure that you, in some way or another, look me up on social media. This is our first recording, so I'm not sure about all of the ins and outs, but we will get it to you. I'm going to have activations, and this one is big. It's a big one. So make sure that you reach out and that you get on our mailing list so that you can have access to those at all times. When I go into my meditations and I channel in the activations, they're usually very, very powerful. And I'd love to give that to you as a gift. Rob, do you have anything to say at the end here?
Yeah. I know we've all hit those walls. We've all been there. I mean, I'm 72 now and I've hit a few of them, quite a few. But if you know that you're hitting one, or you don't know, but you're still not getting past where you're wanting to be, then give us a shout out. We're here. We will help you go through those steps, and it's not painful.
It doesn't have to be.
It's
It doesn't have to be. Once you recognize that, yeah, it doesn't
just
have to
a matter of being conscious about everything that you do, every choice that you make, and every decision you make it consciously and not just go with the flow, because life is about choice or allowing. And are you going to be one of those that makes the choice for your own self and your life, or are you going to allow someone else to choose it and you just sit back and allow things to happen? That's what it's about, and that's what we're going to show you.
I want to share as many stories as we can and as much wisdom as possible with everybody that is hearing this. So be sure and reach out to us. Let us know what you think. If you have questions, always ask. And goodness, just be limitless. Limitless. It's inside of you.
Yeah.
It is. It's inside of you. All right. Next week, you're going to want to be here for this one. It's going to be good. Make sure that you pop in. We are going to be doing these on Monday. So listen up, hit it, and see you then.